Michelle. This is Rachel again on part 2 of these lessons. Now, these 3 lessons will be a little bit more complex, so you may want to take one of these lessons and add it to a previous one, or kind of pull off a few elements so we're not doing quite as much. The first step is this is worksheet 33. The first step is to draw equilateral triangles. You're going to do that. They've already given you the line. So what you're going to do is use your 30-60 triangle, and you're going to just line it up here, and you're just going to draw an extra long line. It's okay to draw longer than you need. In fact, they need to learn to draw longer, and then we can erase later. Some of your students may not be comfortable with erasing, but that's part of geometry. So helping them understand that, yes, they will have to erase. So they're going to draw basically 3. I'm only going to draw 2 here real quick. Oops. See, that's going to be one of the problems your kids are going to have. There we go. Hold it still. And let's see over here. The next step then is they're going to divide each triangle in half different ways. Okay, so see my mistake? I'm erasing it, and it's okay. We can erase these little top pieces. All right, so I erased too much. So to draw a center, we're going to go from here to here. That means instead of using our 30-60 triangle this way, we're going to use it this way. Okay, and we're going to slide it over to this corner, and we're going to draw halfway that way. Now, on this next one, we're going to go from this corner, which is just doing the same thing, except for flipping our 30-60 the other direction. And then the third way is the easiest, which is just straight down like this. Okay, so that would be on this triangle, or whatever order the book says. All right, so the next tricky piece is going to be this one. Here we're dividing, creating new equilateral triangles. They've given you the first one, and we're going to work off that first one. Whenever you're working with angles, you can determine which angle we're using simply by doing that. So I know that I'm using the 30-60. That's going to come into play later on, but I'm going to turn this sideways, or flip it the other direction. I'm going to start where this one ends, and I am going to just basically, I'm having a hard time getting there, draw the line straight up, and then I'm going to draw a horizontal line here. And this is going to tell me how tall my triangles are. Now I'm going to fill in the rest. Like this, and then like this. Actually, I could have done it a little bit easier. Now I'm going to come back up here and continue this line all the way up, and then draw my final horizontal line, just like that. Now over here, we're going to just make some zigzags based on, again, remember, we're finding what angle that's working off of. So see here, we're working off of this angle rather than something like this angle. Okay, that does not match, right? However, it does match down here. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to match that, and we're going to just practice flipping and flopping our triangle back and forth. Okay, and then for this one, we're going to just kind of make it look like this. Oops. See, I'm going too fast. And flipping it back and forth like this. Okay, so it gives your students practice of flipping their triangles back and forth and creating different zigzags. All right, so that's a very messy way of doing that worksheet, but I am trying to hurry up for you. Okay, so then the next worksheet we're doing is this one. Now, it does tell you what you're going to be drawing in these little graphics up here. So that's what you're going to mimic down here. Again, line up our T-square, and we're going to create, same like we did before, an equilateral triangle. Making our lines extra long so we don't have to come back and do it again. It's easier to erase than it is to redraw. Now take a look. It starts here with a straight line down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just start at the top and create a vertical line, and I'm going to go just a little further than what I think I'm going to need. And I'm going to flip my triangle sideways like this, and I'm going to line that up, and then flip it around and line this up. And lo and behold, when I do that, this here is going to be my center mark. That's something important that your students will need to know later. We're going to do the same thing over here. Draw an equilateral triangle. And this time, the half mark line is going, or the vertical line is going from the bottom. Doesn't matter which direction. I'm still going to line it up here at the top, but I'm going to draw it from the bottom over. And this time I'm going to line it up over here. And this is going to be my half mark. I'm going to flip it and line it up there, and that's going to be my spot. So I have an extra piece that I can erase. And that's how you're going to do that one. And you're going to do this exact same thing for these down here. However you want to do that. When I did it, I just basically just start drawing my little, oops, I slid here. And then my vertical. And you can go any direction. I like the top one. Oops, it's easy. Let's see here. How would I do that one? Let me look at it. Oops, I didn't turn my page. Sometimes I have to look at it. Whoops, there I go again. All right, so here I'm going to go from this side, this point, and I'm going to kind of do that. This point, from here down, and see, I didn't make my line quite long enough, my darker line. And here, oh, you know what I did on that circles? I did it upside down. So if I were to do it this way, I would start the way it says in the book. If I would just look at my book, I would actually draw the top line like this, that part, and then draw my angles down. So I messed up. By the way, your students do that. That's okay. Let them do that. And then when you're done with it, say, okay, did you split it up in thirds? No. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We actually split that up in 6. That's something that they're going to be doing later. Here we're going to circle 1/3 of the triangles. They're going to circle however many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're going to circle 3 of them, however that looks. Okay? Now, one more worksheet. I'm really flying through here. Sorry if I'm going too fast. Let me know. What I love about this is they give us these little examples here. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to start by drawing an equilateral triangle. Well, by now your kids kind of know how to do that. So we're going to draw an equilateral triangle. Now the difference between this one is we got to find this half mark. We're going to introduce them to a term called a tick. So we're going to find that middle line, lining this up here, okay? And we're going to draw, a little tick mark down there. Okay, to mark that as the halfway mark. Then I'm going to go ahead and draw, double check that. There we go. So see how I did that? I'm checking my angle and with a line based on this one. So which direction do I use my triangle? I can line that up on my example. So that's what I'm doing here. Okay, so I'm going to draw that, flip it over, and I'm sliding my paper all over the place here. That, and then the horizontal line is here. Okay, now this one's going to look a little different because the base is not over here. But no worries, we can still do that. This time though, what we're going to do is we're going to turn our triangle this way. Okay, so notice my big points up here on the top. Oops, I got a piece of tape on here. That's funny. All right, I don't know, how long has it been up there? Okay, so we're going to draw equilateral triangle this way and then flip it around and draw it from here over. So take a look again. This time, notice my 90-degree angle is up on top, okay? So I'm drawing my triangle, equilateral triangle, a little different, but it still works. This time, I'm going to use my T-square. I'm going to line it up over here. And this down here is my tick mark. And I'm going to do the exact thing, same thing that I did before. I'm going to double check that my angle is correct here, and then I'm going to line it up and draw the rest of my lines. And then this is a vertical line. And there you go. We're going to do the same thing down here. We're going to divide it into eighths. You can just simply follow the instructions on that. There are several different ways to do that. So similar things that you can do. And here we're just completing the fraction chart. And this is just understanding fractions. If this is a half, how much is this? This would be 1/2. This would be the whole, 1/4, and so forth. All of these are eighths. So anyway, I hope that helps. One thing that you will be working on this lesson is fractions. So this is a great way for your students to understand fractions. This is a whole triangle. How many pieces is it broken up into? 4. So this is 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, all together, 4/4. Same thing here. We're going to divide this one into eighths. So we're going to basically cut these into eighths. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so that's basically what they're going to learn. So then this makes sense, right? So I hope that helps. I know I flew through that, but let me know if you have any questions. I'm here to help. Take care.